Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hard 100, a video series documenting the culling of my collection from what it is to what it's going to be, and that is a Hard 100 games. Rule number one is I cannot get rid of a game until I've played it. Sometimes that backfires on me to the point where I play a game so much that I just want to get rid of it because I don't really care if I ever play it again because I feel like I've gotten my fill. This game is not one of those games. This is a game that I have played dozens of times and I will happily play it a dozen more. It also happens to have one of my favorite game mechanics in the world, and it is the reason why I love it so much, and that is drawing sweetness out of a bag. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about Zooloretto. Zooloretto by Michael Schacht is a game in which you and a few friends are going to try to build up a zoo by buying them off of trucks. No. What this game is on your turn, what you're going to do is you are going to do one of three things, and it's a very simple one of three things. You are either going to take that sweet, sweet green bag, you're going to draw a tile, and you're going to place it on one of the trucks in front of you. Or what you can do is take one of said trucks. Those trucks will allow you to fill up your zoo, or you can take a money action. On the tiles, there are money. You start with 2 of the monies. They're just zoo bucks. And then you can spend those to upgrade your zoo, to rearrange some of the animals in your zoo, etc., etc. The game is mechanically simple. Essentially, you're doing one of 3 things every turn, but once you take that truck, you're out of the round, and then the rest of the players can kind of do what they want to do. Why this game is so great is because of the kind of push your luck game of chicken that's going on. So you have trucks in front of you, and there are a certain number of animal species based on the number of players. In the game, there are 6 or 7 different species. Mine came with the lions, so I have lions and jaguars, 2 cats, whatever. In a 3-player game, you remove 2 of those. So we're only working with, I believe, 6 different animal species. So if I see you over there, and you're really trying to focus on elephants, and I might be able to make this truck enticing for you to take so you don't take something that I want. Why does that matter? Well, it's very simple because of how you score in this game. You have your zoo. Every zoo has a certain number of spots. Whenever you fill up the pin in that spot, you get a maximum number of points. If you get all but 1, you get the lesser number of points. However, if you don't even get that, you only score those animals if you have a vendor tile, which are the things that give you like refreshments and souvenirs and that kind of thing. And whoever has the most points wins. The difficulty is whenever you don't have a place to put your animal, because you can't put tigers and elephants in the same pen. No, they have to have their separate one. So if you are full and you have no place to put those animals, they have to go in your barn. And any tile in your barn loses you 2 points at the end of the game for every kind of species and in kind of vendors. And throughout the game, people can buy those from you and give you money and give money to the bank, or you can pay 2 zoo bucks to get rid of them. So if I'm trying to load up something with elephants and you have camels, you might not take it because of etc., etc., or if you're full, you don't want to take it. What's really cool is that some of the tiles have the male and the female, that was backwards, the male and the female little icon on them, and if you ever get 2 of them in a pen, they breed and have a little baby, cute little baby animal. And I have the expansion, the only expansion in this game that I think is worth getting, is I can either use that little baby to help fill up my pen, or I can put it over in our little petting zoo for an additional zoo buck. The first one is worth 1 zoo buck, the second one is worth 2 zoo bucks. And it's just an extra way to get money. Also, whenever you fill up a pen, you get additional money as well. The game is fantastic. There is not a game of this that I would not happily play. We played it last night and I loved it. And who won? My wife won, because my wife always wins. The tiles are simple, the art is fine. It's just a simple little game. And if it was just a matter of filling up your zoo, that's okay. I'm okay with that theme. This is the best game that I've played that does it. This game makes me feel like I'm running a zoo more than a game like Dinosaur Island does or anything like that. Although I wouldn't mind seeing different themes associated with the Zooloretto, so different types of zoos. I wouldn't mind seeing this with like an aquarium tank or the aforementioned dinosaur zoo. This is an older game, and I'm surprised they haven't Ticket to Ride It or Catan this to death to the point where I can have any kind of theme with Zooloretto. I know there's things like Coloretto and all those other kind of things, but this game is easy to teach. I can teach it while we play. The most complicated bit is understanding the scoring, but even that, it's not super harsh on you. I also have the polar bear expansion, but I don't really care about that, and there's some other vendors that give you special powers. It complicates it too much. The only expansion I would hunt out actually comes with those, and that's the petting zoo. Let's do some quick housekeeping. 8 years and up. Look at this. A little elephant, little baby elephant. Oh, it's adorable. So 8 years and up, that seems about right. I haven't played it with anyone that young, but okay. 2 to 5 players. I've played it with as little as 2, in which case it just clogs up some of the truck spaces. And I played it with as many as 5. I love it anyway. I love it anyway. I love it. I love it so much. The higher player counts is a little difficult because if you are trying to load up a truck with something that they might want, it's going to come back around and you might not be able to call your own bluff or anything like that. I find the sweet spot is 3 players. That is the best that I've had fun with it. But I've had fun with it at all player counts. Don't even play. And then 45 minutes, it can run more average about 30 to 35. 45 seems a little long, but it breezes on by. You little pandas. Little pandas, little pandas. Now, some of you might have a problem with the way that this is implemented, where you're loading up the trucks. Where are the animals coming from? Is this bag the forest? Quit looking too much into it. It's a wonderful game. Zooloretto, and this beautiful, beautiful panda is, where am I going? Is in the hard 100. There is no way I'm getting rid of this game. I love this game so much that I got into making foam core inserts a little while back, and check this shit out. When you open the box, oh, that was just a regular insert. And then in it, I have, here's the instructions. It's all super easy. Here's the top. And then I've actually made a bit of a little insert for the inside to have all my housing, my little bits. And everything has its own spot, and I love it. And I took the time and effort to do this. I'm not gonna do this for a game that I'm gonna get rid of. I'm gonna do this for a game that I love. And I absolutely love Zooloretto. Is it perfect though? Sometimes there are games that I just absolutely love, but they might not be a perfect game. Is there anything that I would do differently? I don't think there is. But do I think it's perfect? This is a game that I feel like every gamer on the planet should have in their collection. I feel like it is a wonderful theme. I feel like the gameplay is simple enough to teach, but still offers some fun things to discuss as far as calling bluffs and kind of pushing your luck and going, oh, the scoring is a little low. Usually the max you'll score is like 35, which isn't all that exciting. I wouldn't mind seeing more themes like this, but at the end of the day, Zooloretto is a goddamn perfect game. There's nothing wrong with it. I would say that the petting zoo adds a bit to it, but that just helps get some more money out there to help facilitate the player interaction with getting rid of tiles and buying tiles, but it's not necessary. But it does offer you a little bit of pushing your luck, because if I put my baby over here, I can't help him fill up the pen, and there's a chance that I'm not gonna get that because at the beginning of the game when you're setting up, you're taking 15 tiles out of the bag and you're placing them face down in a stack and a little red disc on top. This is the finish line essentially. So once the tiles in the bag are gone, you start drawing from this stack. And once you take care of that red disc on top and you start drawing from this stack, that is the last round of the game. So as you're playing, you're feeling that little bag get empty and empty and empty and emptier. And all of a sudden you start to panic. You're like, oh crap, I have a lot of stuff in my barn. I have a lot of empty spaces in some of my pens. And I kind of thought that I was going to be getting another lion, but I'm not. There's only a certain number of animals in the bag. So there's 6 species and every species has 11 tiles. 4 of those tiles, 2 male, 2 female. So you know what you're playing with. It's all open information except what you're pulling. So you're playing the odds. You're doing a little bit of card counting kind of thing. But then you start to panic. You're like, oh, I needed chimpanzees and there's no chimpanzees. Are they in the stack? Where are they? Last night I had a pen that had 2 chimps in it and no one else had chimps. So I'm like, where are my chimps? They were basically all in the stack. So it's a good bit of a push your luck, and it makes it tense to the point where you're not just playing Tetris. You're like, okay, I'll eventually get all the pieces I need. You might not get those pieces. Zooloretto though, perfect. It's great for my shelf. It's great for you. It's in my hard 100. I love it so much. I wish they would give me alternate themes, just extra tiles with different variable zoo setups, because it doesn't matter how the pins are laid out. It's just this one has 5, this one has 4, this one has 6, this one has 5. That's all it is. So it doesn't matter where they are in relation to each other. I just would like a little bit of variation when it comes to, I just wouldn't mind like an aquarium setting or anything like that. But as far as this goes, I love it. Love the little panel in the front. King of the Beast, whatever. Z-Man Games, remember them? They used to make games. Again, my name is Billy. Thank you so much for joining me on this, the hardest of hundreds. Hope you and yours are well. Peace out. Go buy Zooloretto.